And the
Open the
broadcast is started.
broadcast.
Hello and welcome back. If you don't know who I am Nelson. This is Infinite Roleplay, and these fine three gentlemen at the gaming table for the slaughter of Super Dragon Slayer Extreme, where they're supposed to kill dragons, but unfortunately, they have to fight the twin dragons today. So yeah, this
Oh,
is
and
day
Steve
three of Super Dragon Slayer
by Slaughter.
Extreme. This is the RPMA rating, stress testing how powerful the Saturday morning heroes in the Saturday morning RPG actually are. We've discovered that they've been pretty powerful up to this point. They damn near decimated Cold Snap. Two took on Hellblaze, and if only they had the help of of a third, they may have been able to defeat Hellblaze. However, today they fight two twin dragons, Yudzat and Zutzat, adult green dragons. So yeah, just for a little sprinkling of roleplay on top of the test, because I can't help myself, Yudzat and Zuzat they haunt the Squid Head Bay. They constantly patrol, they kill, they maim, and they actually seduce people into their fold. They have people that worship them as living gods. But there is a rumor that Yudzat and Zutzat are indeed normal dragons who make their lair just south of Squid Head Bay in the delta just south of Squid Head Bay. So, coming from Fiskton, you travel all the way north to Polymire. I'll share a little tidbit of map. So you come all the way here from Fiskton, through the mountains, past the trees, sometimes falling and scraping your knees, all the way up to Polymire. And from Polymire is where you find out that the delta, right here, just south of Squidhead Bay, is where the Green Dragons make their lair. The mayor of Polymire, wanting to get rid of this threat, actually supplies the three of you with a very large unfolding boat, so that you could fold it up, travel at your leisure, and unfold it as needed. Because if you know anything about a delta, it is wet, and it is wet.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, with that little bit of, that tiny sprinkling of RP on our little alpha test, if you'd like to introduce your characters to our viewing audience, now or either in the future, go right ahead.
Yeah, so I'm Suhaib, and once again, bringing Dwarfington to the meeting. So, Dwarfington is a one-armed dwarf, as the name suggests, and he's a monkey priest. He can probably do a lot of healing and keep the party up if the party doesn't abandon him, like the last few games. Seriously, guys, you guys need to check those games out to know what I'm talking about. But that's all from me.
Okay, you can go ahead, Brian.
Okay, well, I play Grudnud Bastamud the Mighty, a changeling ogre with a fascination of beating people up and wrestling.
Okay, I am Hassan, and I'll be playing Thunderous Maximus, a storm priest. There's not a lot you need to know about Thunderous, Max to his friends, except that he's willing to take down dragons wherever and whenever. Uh, yeah. Other than that, he's well, always ready for a good fight, and hopefully he survives this ordeal.
Yes, most definitely. I hope you survive. I hope you at least take out one of these dragons, or at least make them run away in fear. But with that said, our two priests and our big beat 'em up bashing badass travel to the Delta. Just so that it's clear with both my players and my audience, this alpha test will be running under the rating of RPMA, which is the most difficult, the most mature, the most violent, and the most bloody of all three ratings for our Saturday morning RPG game. So keep that in mind. Sit back and watch the torture. I mean, fun. um, so yes, you go to the.
We know your food, buddy.
All right. Which way would you like to travel to the Delta? Via the Squidhead Bay into the Delta against the stream, or would you like to go around the river up to the river that actually spills into the Delta?
Friends, I would suggest we go up and around. You never know with these
Well, I'm in
dragons.
agreement with that.
Oh, you know what I know, brother? I just want to get going, you know, brother.
Understood then. If we're all in agreement, let's move on.
All right. So you decide to go up and around into the river that spills into the Delta. During your travels, you know, it takes some time. Once in a while, you do see large silhouettes high up in the sky, just circling around you, before eventually flying off. You get to the river. You unfold your glorious unfolded boat, which is most definitely large enough to accommodate our ogreish friend. But it is kind of tight for the rest of you.
Never did like the water much.
So you know there are a few little boats, and I guess you can call them dinghies and rafts and whatnot, going up and down the river that you see. One of them approaches you, goes right up alongside you. He has this long stick that he seems to be digging into the river. He's a really elderly gentleman. He seems to be covered in scars. Maybe he was an adventurer once in his youth. He says, "Oi! Oi!
Oi.
Yes, good sir.
You be looking like you're looking for a fight."
Oh, we always looking for a fight, brother.
Oh, only fighting to be had here is with the dragons. You know them, right?
Go on.
They're the winged gods of
Yes.
the Delta.
Are they big dragons or are they small dragons?
Ah. Is there such a thing as a small dragon?
No.
And then he looks up at you and goes, "Well, I guess maybe in your case."
Well, they'll be small when we're done with them.
I tell you what, it's been years, absolutely years, since I've had me a bit of a fight myself. I used to be, you know, and he taps one of you on the shoulder. I used to be like you in my youth, you know.
Oh, then why not do it again?
Yeah, oh yeah. The dragons, Delta, winged gods, and all that. Yes.
Yeah,
You know how to get to the Delta from here, don't you? He's raising an eyebrow, sort of looking down his nose at you fellows.
Yes, we do.
having to look up to look down his nose at at Goodnod.
Oh, good not.
Oh, I tell you what, just follow me, follow me. You and your fancy boat. And he, grabs his stick again and starts just digging it into whatever he seems to be digging it in. He lifts it high up, and there's never a bottom that breaks the water that you can see. The good thing is that you're traveling downstream towards the delta, making travel, fast and easy and quite luxurious. The old man whistles a tune or two horribly, and eventually you do get to where it seems to be getting, heavily forested. Heavily forested. The smells are starting to be quite horrific in this area. And the old man just it looks like we're here.
Is it always like this?
What do you expect? Delta? Or I guess some people call it a swamp. Whatever.
Okay, yes. Yeah, Max will just pinch his nose. Okay. Let's do what we have to.
He's looking at you guys. He gets off his boat. He sinks an inch or two into the banks, finds a nice little tree to tie his boat on, and then he's looking and goes, I think we might be able to make good use of that fine little folding boat of yours. I saw you when you unfolded it,
And what might we be able to do with it?
Delta? Water, land, water, land, water.
I don't like water. Understood.
Wait. You don't like water? What are you doing fighting water dragons?
Doing my job.
You're a funny one, Well, let's move right along and find ourselves the gods of the Delta. And he just sort of starts walking across a little landmass.
Yeah, Max will lean close to Gradnad and go like, this one, he worries me.
Oh, I'm quite certain this one is quite creepy. Anytime
Yeah.
you see a creep, I smash him, okay?
Oh, go right ahead.
Watch a step right there. Watch it. It's a bit of peat. Don't step in the peat. Especially you, big guy. Whoop. Right down.
Oh, I won't be going down anywhere, brother.
Continues walking right along until he gets to another bank. And he's just waiting. Looking like he might be tapping his feet, but his feet are quite covered in mud and a few inches into the mud, in fact. It's fairly slow going because the soft, overgrown earth.
Yeah. The boat, Dwarfington.
You heard the
so
man, Dwarfing! Dwarfing Town! Boat! Raising his hands like he's part of the commanding staff of this adventure.
Okay, so we just landed on the land, right?
You were on land, crossed some
Yeah,
land,
and
and now
back
it
to-
seems to be a bit of bank where the land is going into the water. So before it gets too deep, he wants to get the boat ready.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dwarfington is gonna ready the boat, with one hand, and he's gonna say, yeah, make the one-hand guy do your job.
Oh, you do a great job with it. It's admirable.
And as you're doing that, and
Yeah,
as you're saying
sure.
that,
Tell me that when the battle starts.
the old man is just looking at you going,
Yeah.
you get the boat ready, and it's not. There's no real water to place it on right now. Like no clean, fresh, floaty water. There's there's water with some vines and some roots sticking out of it, and some mud mixed in. There's some peat, and eventually it does take some dragging to get the boat to a spot where it actually floats rather than resting on something. There's little islands that you can see pretty much everywhere. There's trees growing out of these islands. There's trees going straight out of the water. In fact, it looks like some of the trees growing out of the water are so tall that the canopies are so large that it's starting to actually get dark. Though you would know it's nowhere near nighttime, but it's growing kind of dim.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're all on the boat. I guess we'll just move on ahead. Max will keep an eye out for pretty much anything. Dragons mainly. Yeah.
What's his passive perception?
Ooh, 15.
Yeah, Max doesn't know anything.
Okay.
He might hear the occasional.
Yep.
And then that's it. And of course the everybody walking whenever they do walk.
Mm,
And the constant ramblings of the old man telling you not to walk over there, watch out for there. There's peat, you go sinking, that's actually water over there. Don't go in that direction, there's razor grass over there, they sting like a bitch. And everything talking to you guys like if you've never been to a swamp or a delta of any kind in your entire lives. Like he's talking like he's the man and he knows everything.
Well, listen closely, friends. This man is much as I am. Let's just move on. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
So, you walk on by. You're floating on your boat. You're on quite a bit of water. It's starting to get towards the end of the delta or the end of this swamp, and there's more and more actual water in the waterways. And the land seems to be more secure as like actual little islands off in the distance. The only difference is that in the water seems to be just like the tops of canopies just peering out of the water, though all the trees are dead, so all the leaves are gone. So you have all these little spindly, hand-like things just weaving into and out of each other. Though the sun is starting to get a bit more in view since you've passed the dim area. Once you get there, the old man is like, "You cannot. That island right there. Just let me off. Right there, right over there."
What? You're not joining us?
Right. We've got to set up an ambush. And then he pulls out a little dagger. He's like, "I'm prepared." I mean, I'm an old man. Do I look like a front linesman? That's the big guy. And he slaps him on the thigh. That's the big guy's job.
Oh, don't touch me, brother.
Yeah.
And then Grudnod just starts to laugh at his little dagger.
So do you guys drop him off at the little island before proceeding?
Yeah, I guess Yeah, Max would be all for getting, dropping this man off.
All right, so you guys go to the little island. You drop him off. He jumps in the water, and so it's a little bit of a swim. You see him grabbing at tree branches, pulling and dragging his body up. He's got the little dagger like bitten in his teeth. Turns around and the dagger still clenched in his teeth, manages to muster a little bit of a smile and just gives you the thumbs up. His body is covered in mud. His face is covered in some mud as well.
You just set up the ambush, friend. It'll be appreciated.
Doesn't remove the dagger from his mouth.
Yep. If it's okay, I guess we'll all press on. I guess.
There's a little closed caption of him talking, and what the closed caption says: mumble, mumble, mumble.
Okay.
And if anybody looks back at the old man, he seems to be like grabbing the mud, and the dagger's now out of his mouth. He's putting the mud on his face, drawing like little finger symbols across his face. And as you guys go, in the waterways, it's starting to grow a bit larger. What is everyone else's passive perception? Or was nobody else keeping?
Mine is. Let me check. Yeah, not keeping an eye out. I'm kind of worried at the moment that what's going to happen to me.
Okay. So I guess the only one that really notices, that really sees, that's keeping an eye out is Thunderous Maximus, and you're noticing that the old man pulls his dagger straight in the air, and he's like raising it, lowering it, like he's cheering. And then you see a few other men and women sort of rise from bushes and the surrounding area. They also seem to have bodies covered in mud and little finger designs of mud with little daggers raising and lowering it. The more that show up, the more you hear Yud, Sod, 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 Yud, Sod, 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 Yud, Sod, Sod, Sod. And obviously they're all beginning to chant the names of the green dragons. And with that, would you gentlemen be so kind as to each roll me a dexterity save as the boat starts rocking violently? Feels like something hit the bottom of the boat.
Seems like it's us who walked into the ambush, friends. And that will be a... Come on.
What was I dice rolling?
16. My deck.
Sounds like you rolled every dice you have.
Oh no, I just pulled out my dice.
I got a 20. That good?
Oh yes.
I got an 11.
An 11? Okay. Unfortunately, Dwarfington, in all his wondrous luck, goes overboard. Thunderous, or Max, you feel that you're barely holding on, but you manage to get a grip. And being that you were so aware of everything, you do see Dwarfington fly overboard, and you notice that Grudnod he seems to be like his upper body is completely still, and his legs are just like adjusting for the rocking.
Yeah, he's like he's on a surfboard at the minute.
Okay.
Done this before.
Most definitely. Given his deckhand background, I'm assuredly so.
Whoa! Man overboard! Dwarfington!
Dwarfington goes overboard. The one-armed dwarf.
Is the boat still shaking?
It's seeming to calm down. Basically, you were surprised because it seemed to get hit by something large and shake violently.
Yeah.
And the villagers are still chanting, are they?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yud, sa, sa, sa,
So,
yud, sa, sa, sa.
Hide on, Dwarfington! And Rodnod just reaches over and tries to pick up, you know, tries to pick up Dwarfington and help him out of the
Yeah,
water.
with his awesome power, he could most definitely do it without much effort at all. As a matter of fact, no effort.
I think I finally found a good nice guy.
Good thing we have you, friend. Good thing. And Max will just, pat Grudnod on the forearm, seeing how big he is.
How big am I? Just
You're about twice the size of everyone else. Quite easy, twice the size and girth.
wow.
Eyes out, friends. Seems like.
Your hand,
Right on.
your hands look to be like they could, like you ever had golly, I guess the closest thing would be like a kiwi or a tangerine in size. Like you ever held a kiwi or a tangerine? If you were to hold one of these guys' heads in your hand, it would feel that way.
Whoa.
Okay.
You know, you're a big, beefy dude. You're not like huge, tall. You might be like 8 feet tall. You know, about 50% taller than everyone else, but you're just
Okay.
good lord. You know, you ain't Gretnod. You're not Gretnod. You're good lord. You know. So with that, yeah. Are you gonna do anything?
Not really, just eyes out, friends. We might be on the other end of an ambush, it seems.
All right. So you have 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. What directions are you gentlemen looking at?
Which direction looks the best?
Well, going north, it seems like the swamp and the delta keep opening up. Going south, it seems to be a little bit more dense, and where most of these chanting villagers actually are. And there's not much difference between east and west.
Hmm.
Hey! Can we go and hit the villagers?
Yeah, let's go
Okay.
towards the villagers.
They do have some answering to do, yes.
All right,
Backwards.
so you guys all face southerly and start trying to head towards the south.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're paddling and doing whatever you can. You hear the splashing of the whoosh, whoosh, from the paddling, the dripping of Dwarfington soaking wet after falling. Dwarfington, you're actually filthy. The water in this area, there's like a lot of dirt and sediment and actual like rotten plant life in the water. So you've got bits of things on you. When you fell in the water, it's
Camouflage.
almost impossible to see. Not because of how dark it is, lighting wise, but because there's so much stuff in the water. However, when you guys turn around to start paddling your way back, would all of you make me one save first, a Constitution save?
Okay.
That is a 10.
That is a 3.
Oh God, the DC is 18, by the way.
I got a 17.
Yeah, so I'm not
17. So all of you failed that first Constitution save. You take 56. That's 5/6 poison damage.
Oh, wait a
If
second.
you happen to be a dwarf, you have resistance to poison damage.
Yeah.
Meaning you only take half, which
That's a 28.
yeah, 28. The rest of you take 56 poison damage. You feel just this huge cloud of. It feels like an ocean breeze blowing in from behind you. But after it blows in, you can just see the green billowing mist, and that first hit of the swamp smell when you first entered the swamp, it smells like that but magnified tenfold, and you can't help but hack and cough,
Yeah.
and end up breathing more in while doing so. And unfortunately for all of you, that happens a second time. Roll me another Constitution save, and the DC is still 18.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's go.
I got an 18.
Not enough.
Yeah,
18.
17. I don't
Yep.
make it.
For those who don't make it, you take another 56. That's 5-6 poison damage. Those who do make it, take half as much, which is only 28. And Dwarfington, you didn't make it, but you are a dwarf, so you take only 28.
Yeah. 28.
Yeah, coughing and sputtering. Max just, falls to his knees and, retches over the side of the boat. And that's, just as the second cloud of this poisonous gas hits, that's when he goes limp.
Well, the last thing he sees as he's going limp is at the corner of his eye, more northernly, in the opposite direction that you guys decided to go. You just see the top of a green dragon's head slowly dipping down under the water.
Oh, great.
Okay, so as for Dwarfington, he starts coughing, but because of the resistance, his coughing stops a bit sooner than the other guys. And he knows that we are all gonna die if I don't do something. And then the greenish energy kind of rises from him. And that green energy spreads towards both of his friends, starting to heal them for like 40 points. I'm using Channel Divinity, Preserve Life.
Yes.
So that's gonna heal these guys for 40 HP.
It should be all of you, right? Because there's only 3 of you.
Yeah, all 3 of us. But that's not it.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. So Dwarfington is gonna cast Mass Healing Word.
Okay.
Yeah, like just a 3rd level spell, so that's gonna be 1d4 more for everyone. 12 HP more. 12 HP more.
And that is a total of how much?
52.
We are saved.
You guys healed for a deck of cards.
Per person. And I'm back to max, man. Oh no, actually, almost max. And that will pretty much end my turn.
Okay, so Dwarfington, did Grudnot fall? Grudnot fell, didn't he? He was down, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Yeah, he did fell down because 60 HP.
60 hip. So Dwarfington saves the day.
I love you, Dwarfington.
Everybody's like, Yud, Zud. Boo! So the villagers, like, on the south, on all the little islands and whatnot.
So when Grod, am I up? Yeah.
Yeah, you're up.
So when I
You're
get
at 52 hit points, which is almost your maximum.
Max. I almost max.
So when Grodnod fell over, he's like foaming at the mouth and everything and blinking, and he came up here. You dare stink me!
Yep.
And then to the villagers, he just points. No one boos, Grumnod! Just like that. And flexes.
All right, and after that display of utter manliness, what is Thunderous
Ogreness.
Maximus? Ogreness. Display of utter ogreness. What is Max doing?
He's just getting back to his feet. You know, still coughing, still groggy after this what just happened. He'll reach for his mace. And as he pulls it out, his shield at the ready, he's gonna start looking around for whatever sign of this, the origin of this gas he can locate.
Yeah, it's at this point it's already starting to it's dissipating, and there's just the stink in the air, and even that's beginning to fade since this is a much more open area.
Okay.
But as you guys are healing and you get back up, you feel like a large wake under the boat, which makes it rock. Would all of you be so kind as to roll me dexterity saves?
Not this again.
Yeah, the DC is
We
15.
already know what the result's gonna be.
It's 15 for the dex save. If you make it, you're good. If you fail it, you fall into the water.
Yeah, and as the boat shifts, groggy and still shaken, Max loses his footing and splash. He plummets into the water.
Yeah. And Dwarfington rolls a 7.
Oh, God. So Dwarfington and Max both fall into the water. What's up with Grudnod?
I got a 7.
So the boat rocks violently. It wasn't hit this time. It's just like a large wave, like a wake, wells up and rocks the boat. And all three of you all go splashing into the water. In the water, you can't see a damn thing. Like, inches in front of you, maybe. And even still, you can see all the particulates and plant fibers and just junk obscuring your vision. When you do come to the surface, get your head above water, you do see two dragons in the air with their wings tucked, and it looks like they fired themselves out of the water and are landing on the islands with all these villagers that have been chanting.
Yeah, Thunderous Maximus is going to try and find some sort of, land or anything stable he can get to at this point. He is not happy to be in the water.
Yeah, you've got to swim. You've got to swim like it's not that far normally, but for you it's kind of far because you swim at half your speed, so
Yeah.
it's 30 feet away. It's you didn't get that far away from the little islands, but your poor swimming skills.
Yep.
Yeah, Dwarfington is gonna get back into the boat and try to row that with the one hand and try to get to somewhere land, and actually try also grab these guys on the way. Like tell them to get on the boat rather than swimming there.
So Grudna just breaks through the water and steam's actually coming out of his ears like this. You! And he starts banging his head. You what? And then as he sees Drawfington, tapping on his shoulder or trying to bring him up, Grudna literally leaps onto the boat and helps his friend Hunter on the boat as well, and then grabs the paddle off Dwarfington. Give me that! And starts rowing towards the beasties are.
Yeah, as you're rowing, the villagers are chanting, but not nearly as loud as they once were. And the dragons both turn to look at you, and these guys are huge. Like they're bigger even than you are, Grudnod. one of them, when he begins to talk, you can see like the poisonous gases and fumes spilling out of his jaws. And he goes, "Look at these fools!" And then the other one speaks, "Ah, yes, they should be worshipping us." The second one, you don't see all the expulsion of horrific fumes, but it is also quite large. These dragons both look identical as far as you can tell. And again, in the backdrop of everything, Grud, no, Zud, Grud, no. I mean, Yut, Zut, 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 Yut, Zut, 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 Yut, Zut, Zut, Zut. You know, they're all like getting into building up into a frenzy.
I really feel like shutting up these guys.
Grudnod nods at that and says, "Little bitches, soon you'll be chanting my name."
In time, friend.
Right.
In time.
Just so anyone watching now or in the future knows, they both took what would be known as a monologue action, which would steal XP from our players. If this was a campaign, they would have just had 6 XP stolen from their XP banks.
Oh, damn.
They monologue their asses. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what the they should be worshiping us. Look at these fools was all about. They were they spent their actions.
Monologue?
Yeah. Well, it's 6 seconds. What? How much monologue do you want done? A whole turn, a whole round is 6 seconds. So their portion of it is only 3. How much more? Okay, now we gotta do this. They're not the Micro Machine Man, okay? Monologuing takes time.
I say we just get them. Right, friends?
Let's go!
Alright, so who's rowing?
Oh, that was me. Yeah.
Okay, so you're still rowing. You're
Thank you.
you know, at the end of your action, you can pretty much get up to the shoreline. But what are you going to do at the end of your rowing? You're spending your action rowing, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And then you have movement that you can do if you want to do any additional movement. Just as, like, it gets, you are 30 feet away, you get 15 feet from the shoreline, and it starts to, the boat starts to scrape against, like, trees that might be under the water and, like, tilt and whatnot. It's getting really, really difficult, but you're big enough and you're strong enough for that not to be an issue for you particularly. Anyone else, they wouldn't have been able to do it. But you can get right up to the shoreline.
Right.
Except the boat's probably a little bit lifted, but whatever, right? Are you staying in the boat? Or are you jumping it off the boat?
No. Thunderous Maximus will leap out of the boat.
Not Thunderous Maximus, not yet.
Okay, sorry.
I'm still
Alright.
asking Grudnod.
Yeah,
My
how
bad.
far are we from it?
You leave?
Sure.
Now, which one of the islands? There's about a half dozen islands that you can see all within range. One dragon is on one, the other dragon is on another. And each of the islands has a handful of villagers there as well.
Right. Okay. I guess Rodnod would have been going to the closest one.
With or without a dragon on it.
Well, everybody wants to go to the. I think it was with the dragon, yeah.
All right. The dragon that had the oozing smoke and nastiness dripping out of the. He just said no.
Oh, no, the nice one.
The other one. Okay. So you get to the shore. You said you jump off the boat.
Yeah.
Do you walk up to the dragon? Do you charge up to the dragon or no?
I think all I can do is just a movement. Yeah.
Yeah. All you have left in you is a movement.
All right. So
You can make it up to the dragon, but that's it. Like you get up in the dragon's face and then end. I mean, you could draw your massive hammer during your movement, but you won't be able to use it quite yet.
No, I think that'll be a bad idea if I just run up to it. So, yeah, Rodnod jumps off the boat, and then from his back he lifts out his large hammer, and then he just says to the dragon, "Come on, you boy!"
And with that, the dragon takes its legendary action. You hear it. Would you be so kind as to roll me a dexterity save as it spreads its wings and buffets it violently towards you in its takeoff? The dexterity is 19.
Me or all of us?
No, just you, Brian. You're the only one that's moved up so far.
Okay. 5.
5. So you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are knocked on your buttocks.
Okay.
And after you're knocked prone, the dragon flies up. Wow, these guys can fly like crazy. He flies up 10 feet in the air, right? Continues his flight over you, over the boat, and just dives into the water. And with that, his twin brother does exactly the same, flies up and over all the brush and edge of the island and back into the water. And everyone starts to cheer even louder than they were before. And if Thunderous Maximus would like to go now, it's perfectly fine.
Of course, the dragons are both gone again.
They're both gone again. All you see is the large wakes of them splashing into the water, and even those don't look nearly as large as they should be, as the twins are consummate divers.
Yeah, well, Thunderous Maximus will leap off the boat and onto dry land.
Right.
As dry as it can get here. His weapon at the ready, he's just going to move a bit further away from shore, turning back towards the water, keeping an eye out for any signs of these dragons to appear. He's staying away from that water now.
All right. Well, since Max is being so adamant at keeping an eye out for everything, within all the chanting villagers, you do happen to see on the island in which you're standing, mixed in with some of the villagers in the bushes, a small, tiny, little brownie with a bit of reed in his mouth, an even tinier dagger than everyone else, except that he's haphazardly just sort of, waving it in a mocking fashion with everyone else.
Where? I've probably seen him somewhere before. But yeah, Max is definitely going to try and bring the fight to him, then take it to these dragons.
To the brownie?
No, to the dragons, yeah. He'll bring the fight here.
Alright.
And other than that, yeah, he is just going to ready a spell. If I may be allowed to keep it secret, till I can use it next round, that would be nice.
If you want to keep it secret from who? The GM?
Yeah, just in general.
You're afraid of the GM.
I mean, I'm not metagaming.
Yeah.
I'm just whooping
Okay.
your ass. That's all I'm. Go ahead, keep it secret. Prepare whatever spell I don't even care. I just
Okay.
want to know what the triggering factor is.
Oh. Yeah, soon as he sees either one of the twins, just appear, leap out of the water, it's going. Provided they are within range.
Okay. All right, and finally, the man, the myth, the legend, Dwarfington.
Yes, so finally we are back to Dwarfington. Okay, so currently I'm guessing Grodd and Thunderous are on one island, right?
They're on the same island. The
Yeah.
boat is
Yeah.
partially out of the water because it's sitting on top of dead treetops that are sticking out of the water. Kind of stuck there
Yeah.
because Grodd muscled his way towards the shore. And the only one left in the boat currently is Dwarfing.
Yeah, so can I move to the other island? Like on the other island where these two aren't.
You could if you could manage to jump out of the boat and pull the boat out of the brambles that it's now stuck in, or just simply unfold the boat and then swim out deep enough so you can, fold the boat, take it with you, swim out, and then unfold it.
Well, I'll try to do that actually. Because
Okay,
I don't want to be on the same plane as these two guys.
okay, you'll be in the water though. All right,
If I
fine.
can do underwater.
That's not a problem. So you can take your action to fold the boat, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of in these brambles, but being that you're not this massive boat with a flat bottom and you can move around, you can pull yourself through them. It's a little bit hard. You saw the old man do it, and he looked like he did it fairly easily. But for you, it feels a lot more difficult. But you do manage to get out into the water. You can swim with your speed like 12 feet away from where you were.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so now I'm on the island.
No, you don't get in the island. You're in the water.
Okay, I'm
You
in
have
the
to
water.
unfold the boat, get back in the boat, and then row to another island.
That would be the next turn, pretty sure.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you've
so
got
as
the
a
unfolded boat in
yeah,
your hand. It looks like a thick book, and you can use it like a
okay.
flotation device as you're swimming. But on your next round, it'll take an action to unfold the boat, and then you have to climb in it.
Okay, so while in the water, Dwarfington is going to cast a spiritual weapon.
Yep, that's a bonus action.
Yeah, so this mace is going to appear above him, floating, ready to attack whoever it will be. Next turn, of course.
All right, not a problem. And on the dragon's turn, you see from either side of the island, the dragons fire up out of the water. First with their wings tucked. Once they get their entire body out of the water, they splay their wings wide open. All right, halfway towards the arc, they gape their maws over, and almost simultaneously, like mirror images of one another, they flap downward, and you can see this thick, green, horrific smoke billow out of their jaws and actually cross paths with each other on the island that Grudnod and Max are on. Would the both of you please make 2 Constitution saves?
Yeah, the spell would trigger, wouldn't it? They've appeared.
It would trigger, but you got to make a Constitution save.
Okay, start first and okay. I hope I make it. Yeah, no, that's a 13.
Okay, and the second one. If you fail, you take 56. If you succeed, you take 28.
Okay.
Not a 15, yeah, roll again.
Yeah, they're both fails for me.
Yeah, there's 2 saves because there's 2 breath weapons coming at you.
Yep.
Right.
I fail them both.
I got 17.
All right, and what is you failed both. You got a 16.
15 and 17.
A 15 and 17. It requires an 18 actually. So you managed to fail both of them. You both take a total of 112 poison damage.
Yeah, we're both. I'm down.
So the both of you go down. Now, the spell you had prepared, All right. Just tell me what that was and which one of the dragons it's going after.
Yeah, it was called lightning.
Okay, so that's actually a concentration duration spell.
Yeah, I know.
So you do manage to get at least one lightning bolt because you're taking this poison damage as you're like calling your lightning. It happens simultaneously.
Yeah, so that will be a dex saving throw.
All right.
Yeah. It would be, yeah, and
The total save is 22.
they make it, so that will be half as much damage. That's 3d10 for me,
Okay.
which will be a 14.
So he
So
takes
half of that, yes, 7
seven
points of
points of lightning damage. And it doesn't even, as you're hacking up and coughing up like parts of your lungs, and your vision is going blurry, you do manage to call down this crack of lightning to strike one of the dragons, and it doesn't look like it even phased them. And then they continue their flight and actually cross paths with one another. The one who can see this the best is Dwarfington, floating just a few feet off the shore. With that said, I guess, would you guys like to roll your get back in the fight stuff first, or would you like Dwarfington to take his little action?
What do I roll?
For your down and out saves, you have to roll an unmodified d20. If you roll a 10 or more, you get back in the fight.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking the roll.
You're a warrior, so you have second wind. You could actually ignore the roll and just get back in the fight right now.
I got a 14.
Okay, so Hassan, Max takes one level of Haggard, and you raise your hit points to your beat up threshold.
Awesome.
Brian, were you going to roll or just use your second wind?
I'm using my second thing.
Okay, so you just use your second wind, you get up and raise your hit points to your beat up level, which for your character was 30.
Alright, yeah.
Alright, so all of you can take your stuff this turn.
Okay. I guess it would be, who goes first? Rod?
Yeah, you can have, from left to right, Grudnod, Max, and Dwarfington, in that order.
Okay, when Rodnod comes to, he starts to swipe away all the birdies that was going around his head. And is there any trees around or anything?
Yeah, there's a bunch of trees interspersed within the islands. There's
Can
like 3 or 4 on this small island. There's like 2 or 3 in one island. There's like 6 on another island. Then there's the dead trees that the canopy of those trees are peering out at varying levels in the water as well.
Can I rip out a big tree and throw it at one of the dragons?
Actually, yeah, they just did a strafing run, so they didn't fly that high. They just got kind of far away. But I know what your awesome power is. So, yeah, sure. One of your attack actions to tear out a tree, and the other one to throw it.
Okay.
You would have to roll with disadvantage because they're kind of far from you, but you can still make it.
Right.
Where's my PDF? I can look up in.
What do I get with disadvantage?
That means you roll 2d20, and then you take the lowest of the 2 rolls.
I only had 120, right?
Oh, so you roll it twice and see whichever one comes up the lowest.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can throw this tree a maximum of 30 feet, so you're just in range.
Okay, so I got an 18 and a 15.
So the 15, you got a 15 on the dice.
Yeah.
All right, so your proficiency is +3, so that 15 becomes an 18, and then you add your dexterity for the throw. Your dexterity is a +3, so that's a total of 21. And you do manage to hit one of the dragons with the tree. Was it the same dragon that got lightning bolted, or was it the other one?
I know, I think so. Like,
It's just your choice.
I
Tell me which.
think Grodno just got up and he's like, ah, just grabbed this tree and threw
Alright.
out one of
So,
them. So that's random.
Roll me a 1d10 plus your strength. That's how much damage you deal with the tree.
You got this, Gradnod.
I got it. Plus what? What did I?
Your strength. Your strength, I think, was 18, so it's a +4.
Okay, I got a 6
A 6.
on the dice.
A 6 on the dice, so that's a 10 total.
Okay.
So you hit one of these dragons with the tree, and it wasn't not expecting it. It throws him off his flight a bit, and as it throws him off his flight, he dips down, does like a little bit of a barrel roll, buffets his wings just before hitting an island, and flies a little bit higher up, approximately 40 feet up, and almost in tandem without the barrel roll. The twin dragon on the other side does exactly the same and flies 40 feet up. And
Okay.
that's their legendary actions that they're taking.
How far away would they be from where we stand, Max and Gradnod?
Well, they're 30 feet horizontally away and 40 feet up, so approximately 55 feet away from where Gardnot is.
Okay. So, would it be Max's turn?
Yes.
Excellent. In that case, Max is going to, raise his hand, mutter something, and point straight at the dragon that got hit by the lightning earlier. And
Okay.
he will cast Command.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do I need to roll for command?
Wisdom save.
A wisdom save, that's +7. That's a 16.
And 16 was the DC.
So he makes it.
Yeah,
What was the
all
command? What was the command? What do you shout as the command?
Grovel. Basically,
Grovel?
that would mean, yeah. He was trying to force this thing to fall prone.
All right, cool. Do you do anything else with your turn?
Yeah, he's gonna try and move over to one side. Are there trees on the island they're on?
Yeah, there's like 2 trees left because one of them was pulled from its roots and tossed at the other dragon.
Yeah, so weapon drawn again. He's gonna, press his back up against this tree and kind of just, lean out from one side and keep an eye on the dragons.
All right.
He's gonna
As you yell out grovel, now that they've flown the 40 feet up, they can just look down at you, and you notice the one that you tried to use your command spell on, it just looks like a very jagged and nasty toothy grin starts, peeling away and on his face. And that would be Dwarfington.
Yeah, so Dwarfington is first gonna do the unfolding of the boat and getting on it.
Hmm. So he takes his action to
Yeah, and
unfold
try
the
to make.
boat, and then he
Yeah.
uses his movement to get on it. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So that's
And
I think that's Dwarfington, unless you have a bonus action you want to take.
yeah, I have a bonus action. How far are these guys from me? My.
Oh, I think they're like 65, maybe 70 feet away from pardon me, away from Dorfington.
Okay.
You might want to get back to us, buddy.
So, is there some position on the island from where I can be like 60 to 50 feet away from them, or would it always be above 60?
From who? The dragons?
No, from my companions.
From your companion? Yeah, there's almost like what is it, 15, 20 feet waterways in between the islands that you can see. They're
Hmm.
pretty tightly packed. They only start opening up into clearings because you were going northward, but southernly they're really tightly
Oh,
packed. Even deeper in, they're so tightly packed that there's portions where the islands are so close that you might go through like 4 feet depth with water, before having to reach the next island.
yeah. For this turn, I have landed on the island, right?
Um, no, you unfolded the boat and you used your
Yeah.
move to get back in.
Oh, okay. That's it. I'm still on the boat. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, you're just
That
rocking
is
out.
my turn. Yeah, because they're way too far away for me to use my magic on them.
All right, and with that, it is Yutzat and Zutzat's turn. Twin
Ah, damn it.
dragons. Um, and the one grinning, you can see that his grin starts to part and bleed this green, thick green, horrific smoke. This starts bleeding and drooling downward and billowing out with every time he flaps his wings. And as you're focused on that grin, on those teeth, on that dragon, you hear behind you, and you can turn around and see the other dragon landed, ready to rend and tear. The vision of this large creature, so horrific that would the two of you please be kind enough to roll me some frightening presence saves. That's a wisdom saving throw, and the difficulty is 16.
And I have the bigger they are.
Yep, you have the bigger they are feat, so you're good to go. You're not immune, right?
Natural 20.
Okay, you're immune.
Oh, yes.
Brian, what did you roll?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Roll.
You're like at a +0, I think. So you have to roll what is it? A 19? You have to roll a 16 on the d20.
Well, I got an 8.
You got an 8, so you are frightened of this dragon. And that's the dragon you hit with the tree. The dragon you hit with the tree came back to tear you apart, and you know it. You know that dragon is going to eat you alive. That's what you feel like right now. And
So Grodnog goes, "Ah, tag me! Tag me!"
and let's see, with that beautiful grin of his that he's showing you, he parts his mouth and tries to sink his teeth into you. I think, yeah, that's a hit because your AC is 15, right?
Who, me?
Yep, your armor class, your AC is 1/5. He gets a total of 25. So he sinks his beautiful teeth into the flesh of this would-be ogre, dealing a total of 24 points of damage. That's 17 of those are piercing and 7 of those are poison. But you have no resistances to any of them, so that's 24 points of damage. And
24?
yep, he tears a chunk out of you, and you can just feel this corrosive poison bleeding into your system. And as the dragon tears a chunk out of you, he rears up and brandishes two large, massive claws. And you can see that the claws are making their way inexorably to you as well. Okay, the 15 hits. The 5, let me see, what is the attack bonus? Damn, 11. So the 5 hits as well. The 5 gets a total of 16. You know, you didn't need that custom plate armor. You didn't need that at all. Each claw deals 13 slashing damage. So that's 26 slashing damage in total.
To me?
Yep. So I think Grudgod.
So I'm dangling in his mouth then, yeah?
So, you know, he ripped a chunk out of you. You would have still been standing. The first claw attack would have actually dropped you, and the second claw attack would have given you a failure on your down and out saves. So you have one failure. If you fail 2 more times, you'd be down and out, having to rely on your allies to get you back in the fight.
Right, okay.
So, Max, you turn around with just enough time to see you're not frightened. You're like, yay, the fight is about to happen. We're going to stand up. We're going to fight, just to see your ogre friend be torn to pieces and actually shrink when he falls down. You didn't notice it last time because, you know, you were unconscious, but you see him revert to his natural form. Brian, what's his natural form?
Oh, claw there. No, sorry, no. Gotcha. It'll be an orc type of thing.
Okay, so he's a little bit of a discolored orc. Like, he's not full-on green. He's kind of a
grayish type of orc.
Kind of a grayish orc that you see revert. The leather armor is almost like, you know, a studded leather blanket comforter on this guy because it's twice the size he is. Yeah, and he's down on the ground. The dragon is like looking at you. You were a large, you know, a hefty meal, and he's like obviously confused. And in the confusion of that dragon, what is it, Max? Would you please roll me a Constitution save as you can feel that wind, that all too familiar wind that feels like at first a nice sea breeze, a warm sea breeze followed rapidly by this pungent stench that overtakes you, and the green mist that consumes your vision as the second dragon flies overhead, strafing with another breath attack.
Yeah. So after this, you know, dragon landed and tried to scare Max, he stands tall, weapon, you know, brandishing his weapon at ready. You think that would scare me, Thunderous Maximus? And that's exactly when that cloud of, you know, poison falls upon him. Just as he notices his friend Grudnod go down. And you know how I rolled a natural 20 last turn?
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 1 this time.
Right, so you take 56. That's 5, 6 poison damage. You are undoubtedly down at this point.
Oh yes. He falls mid monologue, just down.
Mid monologue, he falls down. Grudnod, you take another failure on your down and out track. So if you fail your next roll, you will not be able to get up on your own power. The dragon that breathed the fire flies, pivots with a harsh wing buffet to stop himself in the air, and then just drops down beside his brother, halfway dropping on his brother, looking curiously at this size-changing creature to notice that the creature actually changed race. And all this happens within your sight, Dwarfington, as you're, almost simultaneously as you're trying to climb, you're scurrying up the boat that you just unfolded. Dwarfington, what is it that you do?
So as Dwarfington climbs on the boat and he sees these two down.
Well, actually, the turn order was Grudnod, Max, and then Dwarfington. So let's have the first save with Grudnod. See if he can get up by himself.
What do you roll again?
You roll a d20 unmodified by anything. If you roll a 10 or higher, you actually get back in the fight.
Ah. 16.
A 16, so you do get back in the fight. You can take one level of Haggard, so you gain a level of Haggard, and you can raise your hit points up to your beat-up threshold, meaning that you now have 30 hit points. And you can take the rest of your turn normally if you'd like.
Okay. One of them still landed, isn't one of the dragons?
There's two dragons directly in front of you. Both of the twins are actually directly in front of you. One of them has your blood dripping out of its mouth and between its claws.
So, you see Rudnut starting to stumble to his feet. And he's looking at his shoulder, seeing blood drip on all over it. What the hell? Like this. And then he just, his eyes narrows and looks at the dragon that attacked him. And then he looks down and picks up his giant hammer. And
it's much more difficult for you to pick up in this form.
Oh, so I have to change again.
Yeah, but it would take a standard action to change. So it's either pick up your axe and attack, or change and pick up your axe.
Can I use any action surges or anything?
Yes, you can. If you action surge, you can transform while you're getting up, so you actually fill into your armor before walking out of your armor, can get back up with your weapon, and then make your normal 2 attacks. But that's with your action surge.
Okay, I'm doing that. How many times can I use an action surge?
Once.
Once
per short rest. So if you can manage to get away, take a nap, and then come back, you can use it again. But
hey, I gotta do that. Bye.
For the combat, you can use it once.
All right. So you see Grudnut, he's like, I'm not an ogre anymore, and then you just see him puff up like a balloon, and then with his hammer, lift up his hammer. That's more like it. and attack. So, yeah, what do I do?
You roll a d20. You add your attack modifier. I wrote it down on the other sheet that says to hit, which I think is +7. So if you get a total of 19 or higher, you hit, and if you roll a 17, 18, 19, or 20 on the d20, you critically hit.
Okay. So it's d20 +7?
A d20 +7 for each attack. So roll your first attack first.
Okay. That's a 19.
Did you roll a 19?
Yeah.
Okay, you critically hit. Which one were you attacking? The one with your blood in his mouth?
Yeah, the one that attacked me.
Okay, so you're not gonna destroy him outright right now. Roll the second attack so we can see if the second attack hits.
Alright.
Oh, wait a minute. you're gonna have to move up 10 feet because you knock him back 10 feet with a hit. So let's work that out. The first attack hits. The first attack with your massive hammer deals 2d12 damage. So roll me 2d12. Because you max your damage and roll the additional damage dice.
Fell off the desk.
All right.
Okay, that is a 6 and a 9.
6 and a 9. So the 6 and a 9 make a 15. You add your max damage, which would be 12 to the 15. So that's 27 plus your 4 strength. You deal 31 points of damage with that one attack and knock him back 10 feet. Like he's rocked.
Nelson, wouldn't max damage be a 24 because it's 2d12s?
What did I say?
A 12.
I only said 12? Okay. What's wrong with me? So you rolled a 15. 24, 28. 28 and 15 means you deal 43 points of damage with that hit. Sorry, not 34, 43. Golly, was that a hit?
My second attack, I actually did roll a 17. But
Yep, that's another critical hit.
Nice.
So
he's like, Grundnot's like, you bastard! Bite me! Like that.
yes. And for the beauty of narrative purposes, even though I'm supposed to be killing the hell out of you guys, we'll just pretend that Grudnot is no longer frightened because... because even without the frightened, it's already bad enough. You need Grudnot to land these crits.
Alright, that's a
It's cool if you get frightened.
9, 10, 11.
11 plus 28 is 39 points of damage, and you move him back 10 more feet. This dragon, you rocked back a total of 20 feet after getting back up. However, if you want to close the distance, that's up to you. You might get an attack opportunity. Wow. So you rock him back, and he's like, wiping like his maw and stuff. Obviously, there's some blood starting to just barely trickle out of his nose. Golly. Are you finished yet, or are you moving?
Oh, I think I'm moving closer.
All right. You only need to move. Well, yeah, you don't have to move through the threatened area. And so you move closer to keep attacking on your next round, but they're both taking legendary actions. First, there's one wiping his nose, and as you move closer, his brother tries to trip you with a tail attack, which is a natural 20.
Oops.
So it crits you with a tail attack, what is the deal? Its tail attack is 15, so 9 plus 15, 23 points of bludgeoning damage.
23, did you say?
23. So you almost get rocked down with this first tail attack. Like it hurts, and you get hit in the back with this tail attack as you're walking forward, and it begins making you lunge forward, and almost as if the brothers were in a dance, a timed waltz, moving simultaneously. One's movement telegraphing the movement of the others almost seamlessly. The second brother that was wiping his nose, as soon as the first one attacks, he begins going into motion and tail whipping at you as well. His was 17, which actually does hit you and deals a total of... What the hell did the tail attack go? 15 points of bludgeoning damage, which should be enough to drop you again.
I'm dropped again.
So
Oh.
you drop after like, I'm gonna mess you. Then you get whipped. 2 hits simultaneously. They almost sound as one when this happens, and you shrink again. With that, it is actually that was their legendary actions. 1 legendary action from each of them, and now it is Max's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. And that is a 10.
That is
Exactly.
a 10. You just barely managed to get back in the fight.
Okay, and as he does, I want to know where are Yazot and Zuzot right now?
Okay, you added your level of Haggard, raised your hit points to half.
Yep.
Yudzot and Zudzot are
Yazot.
just, well, one is 10 feet away from you. The other is 20 feet away, no, 30 feet away from you.
And how close is Grudnut to either of them?
He's between the two. They're making like a fun little L shape between them.
Okay, I do not like this. Yeah, but Thunderous Maximus gets back to his feet, puffing his chest out as he does when he starts. You dragons! I will not be stopped by the likes of you. I am Thunderous Maximus, bringer of the storms. And as he says, he will point at them with his hammer, and he will channel his divinity.
All right.
Stormheart.
So what is his storm? How much damage does his storm heart actually?
He points his hammer out of them, and up from the sky, lightning arcs down towards this hammer, and then out towards both of these dragons, and they will both take 16 points of damage.
Oh, 16. That's nothing.
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting into the evil GM mode.
Yeah, if there were more than 2 people, I'd be targeting all over. But
There's the Stormheart. There's all the
Villagers.
hacking and coughing and like halfway, partially conscious, most of them not conscious villagers that were suffering the poison breaths along with you guys.
they're suffering enough for now.
The cracks of lightning hit Yutzot and Zutzot. They sort of just like tip a little bit, and they both look at you. What else do you do this time?
He starts moving back, slowly, eyes focused on Yudzot and Zudzot. Waving his hammer around at them, and as he does so, he casts Spiritual Weapon. Giant warhammer. Yeah.
Go ahead.
A giant warhammer appears, right in front of Thunderous Maximus. But more closer to which dragon is closer to him?
One of them is.
Okay, which one? Yeah, okay.
There's
Whichever one of
the one that does not have the taste of blood on his tongue.
Okay. Whichever, be it Yudzot or Zudzot, is the warhammer appears out of thin air and it swings straight for its jaw.
All right. So you have to get a total of 19 to actually hit the AC.
Yeah, I know. And will my, the bigger they are, give me advantage on this?
Yep.
Awesome. Because I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, golly.
Yay!
All right.
So that will be 2d8 plus my spellcasting modifier.
No, that's the maximum of a D8. So that's 8. It's max plus your ability modifier plus a roll. Plus the
Ah,
the normal roll. So
yeah.
roll the d8 and then you add 8 plus your ability modifier.
Okay, rolling that d8. Just a second. Dice. Okay, that is a 2 on the d8, and a +5 for my wisdom modifier.
What? All right, Mr. +5 for the wisdom modifier. So that's 7 plus 8. 7 plus 8 is 15.
Yeah.
So he gets hit almost as hard by that as the freaking lightning.
Yeah, and as he does this, Thunders will complete, if there's enough space, his movement back away from the dragons. Shield at the ready.
All right, so the shield's at the ready, and Yutzot and Zutzot both take their remaining legendary actions to buffet up into the air and fly towards you like a short flight, more like their wing buffet was part of a jump. One landing in front of you, his maw just covered in the blood of your ally, his claws covered in blood as well. The one you just hit with your spiritual weapon lands behind you. So Yutzot and Zutzot are both flanking you. Unfortunately for Grudnod, the wing buffet, you can't really make a dexterity save when you're unconscious, so you fail and take 2 more attacks, which equals 2 failures
Oh.
on the down and out rolls. So the next round, you must succeed to get back in the fight, or you're going to require the aid of your allies. But with that, that's the legendary actions of the Dragon Twins, leaving the bold, the wonderful, the far-off Dwarfington on his raft, on his unfoldable boat in the water.
Dwarfington realizes he went a bit too far. And he's gonna get back to the island, seeing that the dragons are focused on these 2 guys right now, and they pretty much need the healing. So Dwarfington is gonna row back to the island. Is that gonna take the action or movement?
We could say it's movement.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the island, and if possible, I would like to be like in 60 feet to Grodd or Guard or something.
You're within 60 feet from where you're at.
No, but I'll still move. So the dragons are also in like 50 to 55 feet, so
They
I
are.
can target them too.
The only reason
Huh?
that they were so far away from you initially was because they were very high up in the air. Now that they've landed, the island is only 15. The shore of the island is only 15 feet away from you. Your allies are only like 20 to 30 feet away from that shore.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to go on land now, like get out from the boat, just in case I don't want to fall in the water again.
If you're actually
And
trying
as
to go on land and row towards them again, you're gonna have to jump out of the boat and like crawl because you don't have the same awesome power as the ogre formed Grudnod does. So you're gonna have to jump out and crawl through the reeds like the old man did. And
okay.
that'll actually take your whole turn though.
Okay, then I don't really need to move if I'm within everyone's range and all. So from far away, Dwarfington is gonna cast Healing Word on a Grognod,
All right.
as a level 1 spell, just to bring him back. That's gonna be a 12 heal for him.
So Grudnod, you're back in the fight. You have 12 hit points. You were healed by one of your priests.
Thank you.
Yeah, and from a far away, this Dwarfington is gonna cast Sacred Flame cantrip on the dragon that Grodd was hitting.
Okay. So that's a dexterity
And
save. For that
the
one.
target has to make a dex save. Yeah. DC 13.
Oh well, yeah, he gets it. I rolled a 12 on the dice, and he's got. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of bonus on that dex save. He's got a +6 to his dex save, so.
That was just a warning shot. That's all.
Yeah, the one that you cast it on just sort of raises his wing and almost swats away your magic.
And that would
but
be
with
for my
that,
turn.
Yep, with that, since they took all their legendary actions, they take no further legendary actions. But luckily for them, it is now their turn. The one that swat away your magic, he just begins to talk. Ah, another priest. Right. We could use you. Every god needs his servants. And the other one that's right in front of you, the one that landed behind you, Maximus, gets up on his hind legs and towers above you and looks quizzically into the distance at the small little gray orc that is now Grudnod. It seems that they raised their little shape changer. And then he plummets downwards back on all fours in front of you with a heavy thud, Max. And he brings his face just uncomfortably close to you, and you hear him speaking with his jaws snapping closed as he does so. As my brother said, we gods need our servants. Kneel before us, and you can serve. Fighting, you will be served for dinner. And with that, let me roll see if
Who's he talking?
He's talking to Max right now.
Okay.
And that's basically them taking the monologue actions again. If this were a campaign, they would have stole together between the two of them 6 more experience from the experience banks of any of the players.
Okay.
But Rednod, you can go.
Oh gosh. Grudnod is really, really beat up. And he's dazed and he's confused. And I have to shape change, wouldn't I?
To fill up your armor, you have to spend your action to shape change while you're in the process of moving and getting up. Otherwise, you'd be walking out of your armor because it's way too big for you.
Okay. That would be quite funny. And that takes 1 turn, doesn't it?
It takes 1 action.
1 action.
Yeah.
I get 2 actions.
You get 1 action because you're a warrior that's of this high level. When you take an attack action, you get 2 attacks. But right now you're changing you're using a shape change action, which you get for being a changeling, to actually change into the ogre form.
Right. How far is the dragons from me?
They're like 25 feet away. They're not far at all. You guys really haven't made any real distance on this small little island. It's quite a localized fight that's going back and forth. It's more of a very violent and bloody and stinky dance between the 4 of you.
Okay. So.
You have an audience too. There's still all the villagers on the other islands and your friend Dwarfington that's in the boat. Watching all
the villagers are all chanting and cheering.
They never stop. They're sud yud sud yud sud. Every time they down one of you, they're like sud. When one of you get back up or do a spell, they just boo. And then when they down you again, yeah, And still, on the very same island, while this is all going down, while all the other villagers on this island have been taken down, that whatever ones can manage to squirm with whatever tiny bits of life they have left, hacking up blood and whatever pieces of organs that seem to be coming out of them, there is the brownie still in the corner, sort of like, yeah, swinging a small dagger, chewing on a reed. And for each and every one of you that would bother to look at the brownie, he sort of reaches in the bush and rolls out, just halfway, a nice golden coin, looks at you guys, raises an eyebrow, shakes his head, and then just rolls it back in the bush.
Cheeky bastard.
I will get that coin yet, Brownie.
So he's twiddling the dagger. Grudnut sees this. Does that old guy, is he still waving his dagger?
That old guy is on a different island cheering with the rest.
Okay. Is it glowing or anything?
The dagger?
Yeah.
Nope.
Just asking. All right, I'm gonna change again.
Alright, so you swell up, fill your armor.
Just goes like that.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You can get up and stand up and stuff, but alright.
Can I attack, or is that me done?
That's pretty much you done. Like, you get up to cause half your movement. You can, that's 15 feet. They're only about 25 feet away, so you can start. You can get close enough to attack because you have reach with your massive hammer, but it's your action to change shape. So you only get one action per turn.
Grudnut shakes his head as he comes back to his ogre form and he's like, I need a vacation. So, passing on.
Which would be Max. Thunderous Maximus.
Yes. So having just been offered, well, servitude, to offer to serve the dragons.
Yep, to forsake your gods and proclaim them as your new gods.
Thunderous Maximus cocks an eyebrow and he's like, so you wish me to serve you? Well, in that case, and he will go down on one knee, reach out for the dragon's, jaws right in front of him. I have only one thing to say. Die! And he will cast Inflict Wounds as a 3rd level spell.
You gotta hit! You gotta hit!
I will, with advantage? Yes, I will.
With advantage? Why do you get advantage?
Because it counts as a melee spell attack, and the bigger they are.
Oh, yep. The bigger they. Oh, son of a. That is a great feat. I wonder, why did you take that feat?
That is a 23 overall.
All right, so that's definitely a hit. You see, ladies and gentlemen, though awesome power is something that makes your guys categorically stronger, you can wield massive hammers, huge armors, wrestle giant creatures. Sometimes you might not want to have that much awesome power so that you can abuse those that do. Alright, so how much damage does your inflict wounds do? This was the one that doesn't have the taste of blood in his mouth. This is the one that simply got a little too close to you and whispered for you to serve.
Well, that's a 19 on the damage.
Alright, 19 necrotic damage.
But before that's done, the spiritual weapon will also float over.
Alright.
And swing for this dragon's head right between the eyes.
Roll it.
Unfortunately, that won't hit.
That won't. That was with advantage?
Yeah, with advantage, no hit.
All right. So I guess the dragon reels up. Parts of his. He wasn't a very pretty dragon to begin with. You know, covered with like peat stuck in between some of his scales, some moss, some twig branches. Not very well kept, not very regal at all. But yet those emerald green scales on his face that you touched begin to blacken, and the moistness of all the water and the slime that had covered this creature begin to dry up, and his scales grow brittle and start cracking from where you touched him with this inflict wound spell. He reels up and is like grabs his chin as your spiritual weapon swings, just missing him. He begins to fall down back onto all fours, but he twists as he does so, taking his legendary action to tail swipe you.
Okay.
That's a 13.
17 AC.
So yeah, as he does so, the pain in his jaw, like the worst toothache, racks his vision momentarily, and he just simply drags his tail in a corner. It snaps as he turns around to face you, hitting absolutely nothing but the air. But with that, his brother in tandem, seeing what you just did to his brother, that you befouled his brother's face, takes his own tail swipe at you, which is his legendary action. And he rolls a 23.
That will hit.
So, the tail swipe does 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, yeah. Max ain't down.
He's down?
He's not down.
Oh, okay, good.
He ain't
Good.
down, yeah.
Alright, cool.
Just, yeah. Lets out a cry of pain and whips around. And that will be everything he can do, I would assume.
Yeah, that was them taking their legendary actions. It's actually Dwarfington's turn.
Yeah, so as this inflict wounds is casted and the tail swipes are done, Dwarfington's cast the guiding bolt on the dragon that Grodd was fighting.
That's the one with the bloody maw.
Yeah, as a level 3 spell. A 16.
A 16 does not hit.
Damn.
A 16, you need a 19 to hit these things.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a miss.
So again, you cast Guiding Bolt for the second time, and almost as a complete repeat action, he simply just swats your Guiding Bolt away with his wing. The concussive force, redirecting your bolt without even touching his leathery wings. Do you do anything else?
No, nothing else. Nothing for now.
And with that, they actually take their last possible set of legendary actions, both buffeting their wings to jump up in the air and get away from this priest with these rotting hands. Would you roll me, one at a time? First, roll me the first dexterity check, which is a DC of 19.
Yeah, no, I don't make that.
So you take 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're knocked prone.
Okay.
And are you still up?
Still up.
Okay, so this one is rolled with disadvantage because you're prone. Roll me another dexterity save.
Yeah, no.
DC 19. So you take another 13 points of bludgeoning damage as the twins, very rapidly. One starts off. The one who had his jaw rotted wants to get away from you, and his brother follows suit almost instantaneously, as if they were nearly of one mind. After
And
taking that damage, did you drop?
yeah, I dropped.
Okay, they fly up, and it looks like they hover for a moment, as if they were going to fly away. And seeing that you're just down, racked in pain, they decide to just dip right back down, and they're all they're just going to dig into you with all their attacks, which is a total of 6 attacks.
Uh-oh.
Only three of them are needed to make you fail 3 saves. So now you're down and out. But
Yep.
with what you did to the brother, just fucking up his jaw, they're actually digging into you. They're ripping you apart. Like they're
Oh.
tearing huge chunks out of you. So Dorfington, you see that. You also see that Grudnod. You're up, correct?
Yes.
So it's actually your go as you're watching literally tear him apart. You feel like another round of this, and he's going to start rapidly missing limbs.
Okay, so I want to. And both dragons are dying, yes?
Both dragons are down, not
Alright.
more than 20. One is 20 feet away from you. The other one is 30 feet because he's on the other side. And they're flanking your compatriot, tearing clean chunks out of this poor human being.
Well, I'm diving in to help them. And,
Right, so you're charging in.
yeah, attacking the closest one.
All right, so that's the one. That's actually the one that you've been attacking.
Okay.
So roll it. We'll say you can roll with advantage because he doesn't know you're coming. He doesn't care that you're coming. He's just so pissed off at this one that he's tearing him apart. So you get to roll 2d20 and keep the highest.
See this improved critical, Nelson? What does that mean?
The improved critical means that if you roll a 17 or higher on the dice before adding everything, that it's a critical hit.
Ah, okay. So, 2 d20s
Mm-hmm.
with advantage.
That's advantage.
I got a 10 and a 2.
A 10 and a 2. Okay, so no, you're at +7, not +9. So the first attack completely misses. They don't even know you're there. So your second attack can actually still be made with advantage.
Yeah. Okay.
So roll 2d20 again.
Oh. That's 13 and a 3.
13 and a 3. Well, the 13 actually hits.
Okay.
So you get to roll 2d12 plus your strength, which is 4. So 2d12 plus 4 is how much damage you deal to him.
That's a 7 and an 8.
A 7 and an 8. So
Yeah.
that's 15. 15 plus 4 is 19. So you deal 19 damage to him, knock him 10 feet back into his brother. Roll me a d6. Since it's kind of like the equivalent of fall damage.
That's a 5.
It's a 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's divided between the two of them. The one that you've been hitting, you finally like rock a few scales free from his body. But he snaps back and he looks incredibly pissed as his brother stops him. You knock him back, he goes flying into his brother. His brother catches him and secures him. And looking furious at you, the one brother that caught the other takes his legendary action, flies up into the air, and then calming himself momentarily to copy his brother, he does the same. Would you please roll me one at a time 2 dexterity saves as they take their legendary actions?
17
That's a failure. So you take 13 points of damage and you're knocked prone.
and an 18.
17 and an 18. When you were knocked prone, were you still up? Like hit points wise, were you dropped to 0 yet?
I believe so.
Okay, so the second one is just a failure on your down and out track, save track. They fly up and over past Worthington, and then whoop, whoop, both just splash on either side of the boat of Dorfington. Dorfington, please make me a dexterity save to see if you fall in the water.
Nat 20.
Okay, Dwarfington stays. He's glued onto that boat right now. That was them taking their legendary actions. Thunderous Maximus is down and out, so he cannot take any actions of his own volition, which leaves us with Dwarfington.
Yeah, as these two dragons kind of jumps into the sea, this puddle of water, Dwarfington is going to try to row back to the land and use his whole turn to get as near to those two as possible.
All right.
The guys.
His full turn, you can actually get right up on the. You leave the boat, you jump through the brambles. You pull yourself up through the mud, and you can get right close to your guys. Your entire turn, you're right there by your two fallen comrades. Thunderous Maximus looking quite worse for the wear at the moment.
So can I use the bonus action or no?
Yes, you could use it. It only took your move and your action to get that far, so you could definitely use your bonus action.
What he's gonna stand like in the middle and try look up a bit, and all of a sudden these cloud kind of forms around him, and there's this greenish rain that's gonna fall on me and these two guys that are down. Dwarfington casts the mass healing wound.
Ooh.
Oh, mass healing.
Mass healing
as
word.
a level 4. Yeah, as a level 4. So that would be 2d4s. Okay, so that's gonna give me 9 healing to both guys.
So the both of you managed to get back up with 9 hit points.
Sorry, not 9. I forgot to add the modifier. That's gonna be 15.
Okay, 15 hit points.
Yeah, to both.
So Max, you're like torn to bits. But some of the wounds close and stitch enough that you're like, ugh. You get back up. Grudnod, you weren't as worse for wear as Max was as far as wounds, but you're haggard to all hell. Let's see, Grudnod, which one of you spent 2 haggard levels already? Because you guys are almost done. How many levels do you have, Grudnod, of haggard?
I don't know. I kept on healing them. I don't think he has a haggard level.
Yeah, no, he does. All that heal.
I've taken 2 levels of haggard. I have 1 left.
So Thunderous Maximus definitely has taken 2.
Yeah.
So I think that means Grudnod only has a single level of haggard, because I remember one of you took 2.
Yeah, I think I have 1.
Yeah, okay, so Grudnod has 1. He can go down 2 more times and get up of his own volition, but the next time you're down and you get back up, you're in dire straits, dude. But yeah, with that's the entirety of everything Dwarfington can offer to the group, which means it is now the dragon's turn.
Oh God.
and it's not good at all. The entire crowd that's around, cheering, ya zat zat zat, ya zat zat zat, ya zat zat zat. The little brownie on the island that's chewing on the reed. He tosses the dagger into the bushes. He reaches over to his side, pulling a golden coin out of the bushes. Um, he drags it over. He looks at the three of you. He goes, you know what? You guys are really going to need this. And he hits the coin on the floor. It bursts into three separate coins and lands at the feet of either of the three of you, giving you all golden coins of inspiration before he looks at the water and actually scurries away and dives into the bushes. When he does that, you guys can notice, almost like an alligator, the dragon's head rising, breaking the water. You see him open up his mouth. The ichor, the green, the nasty smoke that you've
great.
come all too familiar with, billows forward to consume the three of you. Would each of you roll me a Constitution save, the difficulty of which is 18.
I got 19 on the roll.
So you take half from the thing, which is I believe 28, and half of that, which is only 14.
Yeah, I'm down again.
I got a 5.
So the two guys that just got back up go right back down. And billowing, once the smoke begins to clear, once that stench slowly starts breaking to a point where you feel that you can breathe a little better, Dwarfington, you see that the dragon didn't dip its head back in, and you just hear him say, "Ah, so you're the problem." And as he says that, his brother fires himself out of the water, spreading his wings wide and gliding back to the island, pulling in his wings and dropping just before you, boom, boom, with a thud. And because you have yet to be this close to the dragons, as he opens his mouth to chomp on you, please roll me a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
That's again a 19.
Ooh, so you're not frightened one bit of these dragons. Their poison is, you've had stronger drinks, to be honest. But let's see if you've ever been bitten as viciously as you're about to be bitten. So that's a 26, which I believe hits you. And because you're actually resistant to poison damage, you only take 21 total damage.
Okay.
So he bites you for 21. He rips into you, tears parts of whatever armor and clothing you're wearing away, reels up, and this is not the one that had the rotted scales on his jaw. He has tasted directly blood yet again from another one of you. This one crashes down with both of his massive claws, both hitting you, each of them dealing a total of 13 damage. So both of them together is 16 slashing damage to Dwarfington.
13 each, right?
13 each, yes.
That's a 26.
26 damage. I can't do math to save my life now, apparently.
Is it end of their turn? Please tell me it is.
It is the end of their turn. Is Dwarfington like a boss still standing? Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh.
He is, but just, and might I add, with just 1 HP.
Wow. Holy cow. Okay. That's not good though, because they get
Come on,
legendary
not yet.
reactions.
Not yet.
Um,
At least let me think.
Grudnot, would you roll me your save to see if you can get back in the fight?
Okay.
Because it's Grudnot, Max, Dorfington.
I've got a 15.
You roll so you get back in the fight. You can in your little gray orc form, you gasp back for air, raise your hit points back up to 30, and add your second level of Haggard, and take your turn. You heard Grudnot? Brian, you there?
Yes, brother.
Alright, so yeah, it's your go.
Yeah, so how close is these dragons to me?
Oh, they're like 10 feet away, dude.
10 feet. Oh, that's close enough to attack, isn't it?
Yeah. If you don't transform, the attack with the massive hammer would actually be made with disadvantage.
Alright, so I have to transform again.
But if you transform, you won't be able to attack.
Right. Can I,
But you do have a golden coin of inspiration, so if you use your inspiration for at least one attack, you would cancel the disadvantage.
Right, I want to do that.
Okay, so you're crawling out of your armor and picking up this massive sword and trying to crash it down on the...
Nice.
Alright, cool. So you roll one attack normally, which is a single d20, add all your modifiers, and you have to get a 19 or more to hit the dragon.
Okay. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. 4.
Yeah, you miss him. You do get a second attack, but this one is made with disadvantage, which means you roll 2d20 and take the lowest.
4 and a 9.
Yeah, so you end up missing both attacks. This massive hammer is just entirely too unwieldy for you at this at your true form.
Yeah. Rodnot's weakening and he's stumbling and dazed and confused.
And as you do that, the dragon just and buffets his wings, taking his legendary action to take off in the air. Grudnod and Dwarfington, let's see. Oh, if you make this, you take no damage. So Dwarfington and Grudnod each roll me a dexterity save, DC 19. Mind you, Dwarfington, you still have the golden coin of advantage.
Good luck, guys.
I got a 16.
That's with advantage?
No, I'm not using the golden coin yet.
Okay, so you actually, for the first time this fight, go down. Grudnod, what did you get?
16.
So you take 15 points of 13 points of bludgeoning damage. Do you go down from that?
Nope.
You're still okay. You're still up. So the dragon buffets his wings, flies 10 feet into the air. Grudnod, you're knocked prone because of the wing buffet. Flies 10 feet into the air and 30 feet back before tucking his wings and just falling back into the water.
Okay.
And that was his legendary action. So, unfortunately, Thunderous Maximus, you are down and out and require the aid of an ally to get back in the fight. Dwarfington, you can roll your first down and out save.
That's a
Dwarfington freaking gets back in the fight. Okay. Well, actually, that's not your. Yeah, that is your first. Okay, you gain your first level of Haggard, raise your hit points up to your beat up level, and you're back in this hero dwarf, this one-armed hero dwarf, staying in the fight, lasting, going long.
Dwarfington sits up, saying, "Ah, dragons, you can't take me down that easily." And then he casts Cure Wound on Thunderous Maximus as a level 2 spell.
All right.
Buddy, that's a 6, 6, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, and 14 into 3. 32
42.
healing.
42.
Oh, 42, sorry. 42 healing.
I'm back.
And yeah, that heals me for 8-2. I'm on 41.
and with that, the other dragon takes his his legendary action, and you just see him slowly dip his head into the water.
Yeah, and Dwarfington is gonna move a bit behind. Like if these guys are in front of me, I'm gonna move back about 15 feet.
All right.
And that will be end of Dwarfington's turn, doing everything he can to get the party back into fight.
All right. And with Dwarfington's turn finished, it is the twin dragons' turn.
Oh, great.
Again. And great. Indeed. As one of them has managed to recharge their breath weapon. Yet again. Poor heroes. As a matter of fact, you see one's head raise up very close to where your boat is, and he actually takes your boat and folds it into the tome-sized item that it is. He holds it like it's a mere toy in his hands, clenches it, looks at you, grins, and sinks back into the water with your folded boat. And as a matter of fact, the second one never appears.
Oh.
Okay, that's weird.
Oh, dead.
Yep, and
get them all.
after that, all the ones chanting, the people rapidly quiet down, and they just all lower back into the bushes, out of sight.
I think the dragon is gone. And that dragon stole our boat.
Rudnod
Well,
gets up to his feet and staggers back to the other two. Where'd they go? Come back here! He waves his fist. Come here! I'm ready for you! And then he just falls back down onto his butt. And these little stars going around his head.
Yeah, I think because we've been doing this roughly 2 hours and 13 minutes to be exact. I'm going to call the alpha test at an end. Basically, if this was a continuing game with the intelligence that these adult green dragons have, their intelligence is 18. At this point, they would play the endurance hunter game by taking your boat and forcing you to track through the hazards of this swamp without a boat and simply pick at you, making you waste your magics and never letting you rest. or doing so until the priests surrendered and agreed to worship them as gods. Because though you did get close to making one of them reach their beat up threshold, you weren't close with the other one. And today, unfortunately, I seem to be pretty good at recharging my breath attacks.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't damage me, I have to keep on healing these guys.
Yeah, and another tactic they would have done, being that this is an RPMA, and the goal is to actually give a hard time to your players for them to really try and really overcome with an intelligence of 18. The twins could have grappled those of you who were able to be grappled, which is both Dwarfington and Max, fly in separate directions, dropping you out of the sky, letting you take whatever fall damage you can, but ultimately separating the three of you, having the three of you trek through the swamp without a boat, all alone with the hazards of the swamp, picking you off.
That would have been a pain.
Basically going 2-on-1 with one, which wouldn't have been good at all.
Evil.
Yeah, I didn't do that during the test because that's something they could always do afterwards once getting beat up a little bit too much. So actually, I'd like to ask Brian, because you don't play too much D&D and you've never played the Saturday morning version I'm working on. What did you think, bro?
Yeah, it's if I get more to grips with the mechanics and everything will be much more clearer for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, like it was like 3 heroes against terrible odds.
Yeah, you only had like what 15 minutes, if that, to figure out what was going on.
Yeah. There's a lot in it.
There'll be more in March. There'll be more in March.
Yeah.
And wait.
I don't know what else to add to that about what I could say about the mechanics and everything like that, because like I said, I'm a complete noob for all that. But
well, how did you feel about the overall difficulty, about having to fight what's the equivalent of 2 CR-15 dragons from actually straight from the monster manual?
Oh well, if to go up against them again, I would love to have a party of 5 or something.
Yeah, I thought a party of 3 to 4 would have a very hard time with these two.
Yeah.
So.
But they're definitely challenging.
Yeah.
Definitely in the legendary boss category.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Hassan, because I know you don't get into too many of the games, so any feedback for the end of this February's alpha?
Yeah. For deals. Yeah. I mean, getting back up over and over again. That's a very powerful feeling. But you're reworking the spells, right?
What happened?
You're reworking the spells, right?
I'm reworking the spells. I think before the game started, I've got to 68 out of the 96 spells that I had planned. One of the things that I've given to the fire school is I haven't developed a name I'm happy with yet, but it's a fire spell that basically it doesn't heal you how the priest heals you. It performs a "you're fine" action, which allows you to automatically save a get back to the fight roll, even if you're down and out. So you still have to get your levels of Haggard, or worst case scenario, levels of exhaustion. But when you do so, you explode into fire, damaging everyone around you. And if the mage who cast that spell overcharges, you actually gain a fly speed for a round. So you can like burst into life and fly away, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because like I guess when facing dragons, the more average D&D spell kind of falls behind.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work to
Yeah,
reworking the entire magic mechanic. It unfortunately it's not going to feel very D&D when I'm done with the
it's all
actual
right.
magic
This
mechanics.
is
But
this is already your own thing.
yeah,
That's
but I'm thinking it's going to be very good. You know, limited magic, very thematic, using mana instead of spell slots. Uh, with the mana mechanic involved,
Ah,
I'm going to be adding mana potions to the mundane gear. Um, Not only am I going to be adding mana potions, there's going to be overcharging, which basically means some spells can benefit inherently from pouring twice the amount of magic into them. Some of the classes are going to have special overcharge actions, and I'm going to be having overcharge feats that allow you to do things, with spells.
okay. Other than that, it's a lot of fun, man. Even now, like I always say, I enjoy these games immensely.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I
No,
don't.
I still love them,
yes,
man. Even with
you.
insurmountable odds, just the thrill you get when you just get back up again.
I'm glad. I'm glad that there's that excitement and drama. I just like I said, I feel kind of bad. I don't get to play. I don't get to put my evil GM hat on almost ever. And I'm always having to just like not put it on all the way because I I guess I'm a sadistic bastard because I can think of very bad situations that people really have to think their way out of. Uh, Anybody that's had a hangout with me when we've talked combat tactics and traps and puzzles and mysteries knows I can put together some doozies. And the fact that I'm actually running a game pretty difficult, I almost feel bad. Like, oh, I'm being a punk, just hiding them in the water. Nobody's getting in the water to fight them. Nobody has Grodnod had a swim speed, but all attacks underwater would have definitely been made a disadvantage because no one can see because of all the debris underwater.
Yeah.
Swamp water isn't the clean, pristine thing some people might think. Um, so
Yeah.
I was wondering if anybody would jump in the water and try to do that. Uh,
No.
I was wondering if Grodnod would try to like wrestle them and like not let them go. You know.
If Ace was there, he would probably have gone there. I
But the
guarantee
good
it.
thing is, if Grodnod in the future, if you wanted to go a similar build, the heroic warrior has been removed. I'm doing a more pit fighter warrior that has like grapple bonuses and stuff. I've got the wrestling moves. If you take the feat amateur wrestler, you get the 3 count, so you can actually grab a dragon, Grodnod in his ogre form, grab the dragon and pin him to the floor, meaning he can't fly away. So there's
Yeah. None of us actually aimed for the dragon's wings.
ow,
Ouch.
that hurt my ears.
Yeah, I was just saying, none of us actually
Suicide
aimed for the dragon's wings.
I am
Yeah.
so sorry. Mike acts up sometimes.
All right. So, with that, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come to a. Actually, let me get Sahib, man. I can't be scared of Sahib, the main man who's actually partaken in every single alpha test, both broadcasted and unbroadcasted thus far.
Dude,
Playing.
I can't resist. I can't resist playing this game. Okay, it's fun. I mean, ideas comes up, and you can implement them here, not in normal D&D. So I have to try.
All right. With
Seriously.
that, we'll
I mean,
bring this. Yeah, we'll bring this to
I mean,
to an end.
Arcanist isn't. Yeah,
No, the Arcanist is
Arcanist
not
isn't
out
even
yet.
done.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
guess
we
I'll
are
do
waiting
my
for our
patch
dog.
notes. My patch notes. If this was a video game, this would be the patch notes, right? Um,
Yeah.
Soon to be released in March's version of the alpha testing. We'll officially start the beta testing. I'll have the complete book with new rules for Magic new spells, spell schools. I will be unveiling the wizard class, possibly the arcanist, two new races, player races. We will not be fighting anything from the standard monster manual, but fighting custom monsters designed to work in tandem with each other. Two adventures, wrestling moves, new feats, and entire redesigns of the magic, the way the priests interact with magic, the way the spell thief interacts with magic, and changing one of the warriors' archetypes to be more geared towards actual pugilism and wrestling moves. So stay tuned to Infinite Roleplay, both the YouTube channel and the Facebook group. If you want to take part in the beta, you can just private message me over Facebook at Infinite Roleplay, or send me an email at infiniteroleplay@gmail.com. As always, my name is Nelson. Thank you, wonderful gentlemen, for being my little victims today. And until I see all you ladies and gents next time, always remember to run more games, play more games. Peace.